Today we are going to be having a look at the Star Wars The Power of the Force Luke Skywalker action figure released in 1997 by Kenner and Hasbro, and picked this up on eBay for $14 in the United States. On the box we have the Star Wars Power of the Force logo with Darth Vader right next to it, and also has a freeze frame action included inside here. And it also says all new likeness, and this was around the time 1997 was around the time when the Star Wars Power of the Force line, became an actual a good line, and not like those ugly buffed up versions, but more accurate, movie accurate characters. And he comes with the blast shield helmet and a lightsaber. And on the back, there's a card that you can cut out. It says, aboard the Millennium Falcon, Luke Skywalker is instructed by Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi in the art of lightsaber battle and the ways of the Force. And they promote some of the sets, there's a Sand Trooper with a dewback, and a 2-pack with the Star Wars Special Edition Jabba the Hutt and the Han Solo minifigure from the early Power of the Force sets. And also included from this line are the Snow Trooper, Luke Skywalker in ceremonial outfit, Grand Moff Tarkin, Princess Leia Organa in Ewok celebration outfit, and the Gamma Ring Guard. Figures sold separately. Here's a promotion for the Star Wars Fan Club. Only $19.95 for 6-issue subscription plus a free membership kit. And then there is a special offer for Star Wars fans, a display holder for the freeze frame slides. I actually may have lied. I think this figure came out in 1998, so that's probably the year after the special edition trilogies came out. But here's what his freeze frame card looks like, and it's pretty hard to see. I'd say if you have this figure or any freeze frame cards, and you're looking at it in person, it probably, would probably see it a lot better. But you can see it is the scene where Luke is training on how to become a Jedi. It's from the first scene of the Millennium Falcon. Who really cares about freeze frame cards? They're worthless. The figure is much better. So here is our Luke Skywalker minifigure that we came in. The accessories, he comes with the Force Shield helmet from that scene in A New Hope. I have the camera zoomed in, which probably explains why the camera's not focusing. You could put it on Luke, or I'm not going to display Luke with the helmet on, so. And here's also his lightsaber. It's a little bent, but it's the right length. And here's his holder. Has no paint at all, but come on, it was the late 90s, of course. Not every accessory has to be that well detailed. So yeah, let's just take the lightsaber off for now. You can have a good look at Luke Skywalker. I definitely say he's probably the most accurate Tatooine / farm boy Luke Skywalker figure, I'd say ever. I think he kind of looks better than most of the 6-inch Star Wars Black Series figures, and maybe some of the highly articulated 3 3/4-inch figures that we gotten of Luke Skywalker in general. I think this face looks more like Mark Hamill than any of those figures. I know it's a personal opinion, my opinion, since not a lot of people will agree with me, especially since they're much older than me. But it is a pretty nice face. I mean, I really like how they actually captured the hair pretty well. It does look a tad bit too blonde. I think it should be a tad bit darker, but I think it works. And then here are his clothes, his belt buckle. They actually gave some details in the back. And then there's the side. And here are his pants and boots. And his articulation, he has a rotating head that's kind of pretty hard to move, so I'm just going to leave it like that. His shoulders rotate back and forth. And his hips, they go back and forth. I really like how this how the skirt piece is made of like rubber, so that way he can sit down all the way. I kind of like how Kenner and Hasbro did that, and he has a waist joint, so that's like so it's mostly like the vintage Star Wars figures from Kenner, but with just like a waist joint. In fact, I think some Power of the Force figures do have more than just that. While we're on the subject of Star Wars Power of the Force, here is another Power of the Force Luke figure that I owned growing up. This one has a lot more articulation and maybe a tad bit more accurate, but basically he was from like he's based off of a deleted scene from A New Hope, and he came with a hat and binoculars. I don't have all of the accessories anymore, but I do still have this figure. And I think both, if you were to get like one of the Lukes, I'd probably say this one is better because he has a much cleaner sculpt. But honestly, I don't really care. I mean, you can get both if you want. And here is the 1998 Luke sitting next to the original vintage Kenner Luke, but this is not the original vintage figure. He's actually the retro collection one that came out pretty recently. And you can see this was Kenner's first attempt at making a Luke Skywalker action figure, and I think they did a pretty decent job. And then this is one of Kenner and Hasbro's like later attempts at making Luke after they made their much like huge bulky Luke from the early Power of the Force line. Here's the Power of the Force Luke right next to the Jedi Master Luke from the Star Wars Last Jedi wave. And yeah, so this is the beginning of Luke, and this is like the end of Luke. I can't wait to see The Rise of Skywalker. Even though there are some annoying Star Wars fans that do hate the sequel trilogy, I kind of like the sequel trilogy. And of course, you can try and putting the Power of the Force Luke's lightsaber on Jedi Master Luke's right arm. So overall, this probably might be the best Luke Skywalker action figure you can get from Hasbro or Kenner, because I mean, like, he has a great sculpt with really good movie accuracy. He also comes with pretty cool accessories. And overall, it was definitely ahead of its time. In fact, I think most of the Star Wars Power of the Force figures were ahead of its time. Like, the line began in, like, 1995, and ended with the, like, the Power of the Jedi line, and, like, the Episode 1 line. So, maybe around that time, and they are pretty cool figures, and they definitely do still hold up today. And, so yeah, so overall I really like this figure a lot, and I give Luke Skywalker maybe like an A or an A-. So, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.
This is Kids WB. We'll be right back.
It's Darth Vader, watch out! And he's got a lightsaber.
It's Kenner's Star Wars action figures, each sold separately.
I got you now, Ben Kenobi.
With R2-D2 and C-3PO. There's even Chewbacca and Han Solo.
Someone's coming, Chewie. Who's there? It's Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker. Now I know the Force is with us.
Darth Vader, R2-D2, C-3PO, and other Kenner Star Wars action figures, each sold separately.
Hut, hut, to the Pizza Hut. Hut, to the Pizza Hut. Hut, 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 hut. When you think of New York City, you think of liberty. When you think of San Francisco, cable cars you see. From the Hudson to Pacific to New England shores. When you think of tours for your family, think of our stores. When
Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Gee, what a keen movie. I love that Willy Wonka.
Yeah, but how about that Chocolate Factory?
Oh, heavy. Sure wish I could make my own candy.
Yeah.
Captain Crunch speaking. Have I got a surprise for all my loyal crew? A special offer from the folks at Quaker. A miniature candy factory. Mother can help you melt some chocolate bits that you buy at the grocer and pour the chocolate in the special molds. When it hardens, you're in the candy business.
Hurry, hurry. Get your Willy Wonka candy bars here. I made it myself. I'll trade you 3 plain ones for you, Oompa Loompa. Okay. Yeah, but they're only 10 cents here.
Look for these specially marked packages of Quaker cereals and send $1 and 2 purchase seals from any of them to the address on the package. You get everything you need, except the chocolate bits, to make candy with your Willy Wonka Candy Factory Kit.
Something's coming up the plumbing for Luigi's in a bind. Giant turtles out to get him, creepy crabs are right behind. Spider flies, keeper shites, they're all coming out the pipes.
Mario, where are you? It's Atari Mario Brothers with Mario from Donkey Kong, his brother Luigi, and lots of crazy creatures. And it's twice the fun when 2 play at once, because you need all the help you can get. Mario, where are you? Mario Brothers, new from Atari.
Yo, kids! We're back!
Today we are going to be having a look at some more Star Wars The Power of the Force. Bespin Luke Skywalker with lightsaber and blaster pistol. The figure comes with a freeze frame action slide. He comes in the exact same, like promotions as the previous Luke that we reviewed. In fact, I think he came out of the same year, 1997 or 1998. He's made by Kenner and Hasbro, and I got him the same day as the other Luke. Basically, the $14 Luke I ordered, this one came with it. He also comes with the cardboard cutout card that you can cut out, and the description reads, "Sensing his friends are in critical danger, Luke Skywalker ventures to Cloud City before finishing his Jedi training. Unbeknownst to him, Darth Vader has prepared an elaborate trap with the darkest of intentions." You can see there's a screenshot of Luke from Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. And now let's open this figure. God, I swear that motorcycle gets me every time. Anyways, you can see, I think you probably could see the action slide a lot better. And you could tell what screenshot this is from. He comes with a blaster and a lightsaber. Of course, both accessories can fit onto his hand. So here is the Cloud City, or Bespin Luke, as you want to call it, and he's a really cool figure from Kenner and Hasbro, as always. Also, I think the brown color, looks a lot more better than on the previous Luke that we reviewed. And I kind of think he's probably the better figure. I think he's probably my favorite Luke Skywalker figure, like, right now. And he's probably, the Bespin Luke's probably my favorite Luke out of them all. And you can see, here's the back. Here's some details. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that they both have peg holes if you want to put any, like, display stands on. Unfortunately, he didn't came with any stands, so, yeah. He has the same exact articulation as the other Luke that we reviewed. His head rotates, but not a lot. His shoulders rotate. His hips go back and forth. And his waist can swivel. But he also has an extra point of articulation. His wrist can actually rotate. In fact, the reason why it rotates is that you can actually... It was actually intentionally made to pop the hand out, just like in The Empire Strikes Back, where when Luke duels Darth Vader, Vader's lightsaber cuts off his hand. So that's a very cool gimmick that they did. Something that the newer Bespin Luke figures from Hasbro has never done. And of course, if you have the newer Darth Vader action figure from the Rogue One set, then I definitely recommend getting this Luke to display with any Darth Vader action figure that you might own, especially since both the Power of the Force figures and the modern 5 POA line, they definitely are in scale with each other since they're in the 3 3/4 inch scale, and the scale definitely works. And with the rotating wrist only in the right hand, you can actually you know, like, do some dynamic posing. So overall, this is probably the best Luke Skywalker action figure from the Star Wars Power of the Force line, and it's also probably the best Bespin Luke action figure that you can get from Hasbro. Like, he definitely has a much better movie accuracy compared to most of the Black Series Lukes that we get, and I'm trying not to shame on the Star Wars Black Series, because I do like that they have a lot more articulation, you know, for those who prefer action figures with more articulation. But I kind of personally prefer the 3 3/4 inch 5 POA figures, because not only are they much smaller and cheaper, more affordable, but I just really like vintage figures. That's all. And I really like this Luke action figure so much, and overall, I think he gets an A or an A+. So thank you for watching.